Okay, I'm coming back. I had in the last portion I was getting a bite. Ended up catching a bluegill about 6 inches, 7 inches or so. I just threw him back. But like I was saying before, you can't hunt with dogs on the refuge. You know, I enjoy hunting with dogs. I love hound dogs. You know, beagles, uh, coon hounds, blue ticks, red ticks, walkers, basset hounds. I just maybe I got a screw loose, but I just really love hound dogs. Um, but I was saying on the refuge, you can't hunt upland game with dogs. You can hunt ducks, waterfowl with dogs, and in certain locations on the refuge, you have to hunt the ducks, the waterfowl with dogs because you will have no other way to recover the game. But yeah, like, now that I get on the topic of waterfowl hunting, I've read the regulations, or at least I tip my hat to the guys that go out and waterfowl hunt because I mean that is regulated to death. You can only have 3 shells in your shotgun, certain type of ammunition. You can't use certain types of decoys. I'm just naming some regulations off the top of my head. If you're hunting from boats, I know in some places you have to be a certain distance from the shore, or you can't use certain types of boats, even I believe. Or there's regulations for your blinds. I know once you do take game, you have to tag each individual duck. I mean, it is crazy. It is crazy. I mean, for waterfowl hunting, but I don't know, And now that I'm on the topic of hunting, not to digress from the refuge, but just on the topic of hunting and fishing in general, you see less and less young people out doing it, I'm 28, and I go into the field. I don't see no young people, 13, 14 years old out with their beagle or something like that hunting, or might be the last in the generation to be doing this type of stuff, sadly. But back to the refuge, though. I will say it again, though. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. But there's a lot of red tape that goes with, recreation on the refuge. So much red tape that it just, you just have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it? But my biggest thing though is just you just have to pay. You have to pay for licenses. You have to pay for the fee to join the Mead Heritage Wildlife Organization. Then you have the game warden looking over your shoulder. Then you have to pay if you get it is just crazy. And as I said before, I fished here last 2-3 years. And I mean, the game warden lady, she would check me out. I mean, I would come, days back to back, and she would check me every single time. I'm like, the status of my license didn't change from yesterday, but that's the thing with people with government jobs. They throw out, I'm just doing my job, but what I think they're throwing out is really they're throwing out their common sense, But whoever said the federal government has common sense? What else? Hunting on the refuges. Yeah, there is no admission for this refuge. I've gone onto the U.S. Fish and Wildlife website, and I just click on the different states. You can read about the different refuges, and some refuges charge admissions, an entrance fee, to actually access the refuge, and I think that is outrageous. I think it's outrageous that you have to pay a parking fee to access state parks in Maryland. That's why I don't hunt at certain state parks, because you have to pay to access state park. I mean, it's crazy. Let's think about this for a second. It's public land. You get up and go to work every day. You pay federal and state taxes. Why should you have to pay to access these public lands? It's outrageous. I just think it's an issue of the government needing to live within its means, as far as how it allocates its funds. I'm a regular guy. I have a budget, I have to allocate funds, within my budget. But I understand, though, the cause of the Fish and Wildlife Service is a noble cause, but with the regulations and the fees and so forth piled on, it just hampers the fisherman, the angler, and the hunter. It just hampers you. Hey, how's it going? I'm all right. And what else? I'll talk about the other lands that are managed by the federal government. You have the Bureau of Land Management, BLM. You have U.S. Forest Service, National Wildlife Refuges, national parks. All these federal lands are public, and you can hunt and fish on them. But here in Maryland, though, all that stuff though is out west. Though that Bureau of Land Management, that's out west in like Colorado and Arizona and Wyoming, places like that. I don't know. I just got the talking bug today. I just felt like talking and talking, but yeah. But I really do, as a hunter and angler, I refuse to pay to access, public land. So, and I just think that's something all sportsmen, should stand up for. We should stand firm that we pay our taxes. We pay our license. We have to pay to get licensed and so forth. So that should be more than enough to cover. And speaking of licenses, just think about it. You have to buy, let's say for example, waterfowl hunting. You have to buy a regular hunting license. You have to buy a state migratory bird stamp. You have to buy a federal duck stamp. That's $15, I believe. Don't hold me to it. I never duck hunted, but I've read the regulations. I get the book and I read the regulations, though. And it's just crazy. And if you read in the Maryland book for the fee schedule, you have to get a bow stamp, a bonus antler stamp. I mean, it's just a whole menu of just fees, and it's outrageous. I just think it's outrageous. And as a matter of fact, the Maryland DNR wanted to hike the prices up. Like $40 for a hunting license. They want to double it, and that died. Legislatively, it died. So I'm just so happy that measure was just pushed away, pushed under the rug. Just they made that go away. That's outrageous. You want to talk about discouraging young people from hunting and fishing? Raise the prices. It's hard enough to get them outside anyway, away from the television or their iPhone or their laptop or so forth. But I follow that type of stuff closely, though. Legislative issues as far as regulations and so forth with the hunting and fishing, in public lands. I do enjoy it. I do thoroughly enjoy it. Just being out and enjoying our wildlife and so forth. What else about the refuge, though, real quick? I'm trying to think of something. They allow you to do bird watching up here. They have a little truck that does wildlife tours. They have a National Visitor Center up there with a fully mounted grizzly bear up there. I mean, it's a real nice facility, and it's a nice place to come to. I ended on a positive note. That's the way I do it, though. But I just air just a few grievances, though. Overall, the refuge is a nice place, but it's got some problems also. All right, I gotta go. I had a bluegill on.